Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for tonight, leading up to the 6th episode for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on a recent interview with Norman Reedus, where he discussed Daryl's future this season and him going even more rogue. And spoiler warning, if you're not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to Season 8, Episode 6. So I wanted to do one last Q&A today before tonight's episode with you guys. Pretty excited for the 6th episode. So we only have 3 episodes left of this half of The Walking Dead. It's been an amazing half so far, I think. No slowdowns, really, with even Episode 5, which sometimes is a bit of a slow episode, depending on the season. Sometimes they'll do, like, flashback episodes. Sometimes they'll do, a lot of different things with it. But this season, so far, Walking Dead has been really on point, really awesome. So, link will be in the description to digitalspy.com, so you guys go ahead and check this one out. It says, The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus warns there are bigger rogue moments coming for Daryl. Then it says, is he plotting something with Tara? Which we can kind of see in the preview video for tonight's episode. The promo in that looks like that they might actually be, going to go do something together, maybe, similar to Rosita Sasha style, where they go after Negan and the Saviors. So it goes into a little bit describing, some of the things that Daryl's done so far, him kind of going a little bit rogue already, him starting to disagree with Rick, and it was funny to even see Norman Reedus mention that on Talking Dead, which I did really enjoy. Sometimes Talking Dead's really good, and tonight should be good too, because we get the confirmation, the reveal of which character is going to cross over between The Walking Dead and Fear or vice versa. So that's going to be really cool. So definitely tonight, guys, if you didn't see the video yesterday, check out Talking Dead after The Walking Dead so you can find out, or I'll let you know through the channel anyway the next day. The announcement on who the crossover character is going to be, because that's pretty big news for Walking Dead, and pretty big news, really big news for Fear, maybe the biggest news since the start of the series. So it says, Norman Reedus has teased that his character will continue to defy orders as all-out war against Negan progresses. It says, Daryl goes a bit rogue this season, and he's continuing to go rogue throughout the season, quite a way through the story, he told Entertainment Weekly. So it sounds like maybe not just in the first half, but maybe in the second half as well too, we'll see him continue to go rogue. It says there are some bigger rogue moments coming, to be honest. There are some really big moments coming where I kind of go rogue without him knowing it, because the group gets separated from time to time. And that's true. I mean, we've seen that already. We've seen Rick, who's definitely going to be separated from the rest of the group because he's going to be captured by the Junkyard group. It's in the promo. This isn't spoilers. It's just, it's there. So we're going to see that. The other Morgan's off somewhere, don't know. Kingdom's kind of gone back home, the survivors of it that were with the main group anyway. So they're kind of scattered all over the place. You've got Maggie at the Hilltop and whatever the hell's going on there with the prisoners, which we should also see some more of tonight. So yeah, we're definitely seeing that. And then it says, everybody in this group, everyone's trusted enough and everyone's in it enough to make plans, and we're all trying to reach the same spot, but there are moments when you have to make decisions on the fly, and that happens this season quite a bit. So to go with that one, if you guys watch my review of Episode 5, you'll know that I really liked Daryl's idea, once they got the explosives, to try to blow the door down at the sanctuary. Now, it's kind of a risky mission. It's a bit of maybe a suicide mission, so to speak. Once you get in there, you got zombies everywhere. You're going to plant the explosives, and you're going to somehow blow those, trigger those off, maybe from a distance, if you can wire them up or something. It's a little tricky to do because, of course, you have all of the the zombies around, unless you can somehow maybe drop or throw the explosives near the door section and somehow shoot them with a flare from a distance or something, like we saw Daryl do earlier on this season with the tricks they've had. It's just a little bit trickier to do because you have all the zombies everywhere for him to do it. But I tend to think that Daryl could figure out a way to probably get something similar done, even if it's a side door or something that the others aren't looking at, and then try to get them all to go in that way. So I like the idea. I thought it was great. Rick, of course, doesn't want to do it because he's worried about the workers and that, but it's like, you know what? I mean, casualty of war, it's what it is. So I definitely agree with Daryl on this one. Chokeholds may be illegal, but you know, I kind of wish that one would have sunk itself in and that the explosives would have, you know, been okay so Daryl could have tried that. That would have been cool to see. Everybody in this group, everyone's trusted enough and everyone's in enough to make plans, and we're all trying to reach the same spot, but there are moments when you have to make decisions on the fly, and that happens this season quite a bit. So then it goes, the title of the episode is The King, the Widow, and Rick, of course, tonight. And they discuss the trailer where you can see Tara and Daryl discussing going in together, so that's kind of cool. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the article. So just really confirmation that Daryl's going to kind of go his own way even more, and that that's not going to stop, and that maybe even in the second half of the season. But so far, I think Daryl's making good decisions. Even the decision to kill Morales, at the moment you look at it and you think like, oh man, why did he kill Morales? It sucks, right? Damn you, Daryl. But then right afterwards, at least Morales fans would say that, such as myself, right? Right afterwards, you know, the place gets stormed. So it's like, if Daryl did not make that snap decision in that moment, him and Rick could have either been killed or captured or whatever the hell. So, you know, he's been making decisions on the fly, but so far I feel like his decisions have pretty much been the right ones. Maybe even with the guy who Rick was going to let him go, which, you know, you kind of would want to see him do that because he made a deal with him. But is he going to go back to the sanctuary? Is he going to tell somebody what happened, spread that information around so that they know, and that gives him a better advantage or better position? So, you know, you can't go against logically what Daryl's doing this season, I think. I think it makes a lot of sense. Maybe not emotionally, but, you know, logically, you know, if you want to win a war, that's what sometimes you kind of have to do, right? The next one is the questions from, let's see, actually I didn't write down the name, but they said, hey Trev, did you notice when after Father Gabriel, or when Negan confesses and Gabriel comes out and said, you're forgiven, and tries to hand him the gun, Negan socks him in the face? I found that part so hilarious. What did you think, Trev? That was really funny. I didn't mention in my review, that's true, any of the Q&As, that he did give him a bop to the face. He didn't give him like a hard, you know, like a cross or hook or anything. He just bopped him, you know. He didn't even do it from the. He just kind of, you know, just a playful kind of bop in the face type of deal. So, you know, I mean, that's not gonna do too much damage. Maybe wake him up a little bit, let him know. so that's funny. So Negan cracks me up a lot. Like I said, you know, Negan is one of my all-time favorite Walking Dead characters. JDM has done a great job with him in the TV series. So, I mean, when he first showed up and everything, that's some of the most exciting parts of the whole series, is when Negan first shows up in the show, you know, near the season 6 finale. Man, that was so exciting. So, yeah, man, I love to see Negan in the series, and the way him and Gabriel kind of work with each other is hilarious. You know, Gabriel smiling and saying he's here to take his confession, and then Negan giving him the bop and the other stuff that happens with him. It's really funny, man, for sure. And kind of a nice twist for viewers that think that at first Negan is this something to fear guy who's totally cold, totally harsh all the time. But he could have, right then and there, in a war, he could have killed Father Gabriel like that. But he didn't, and he still hasn't killed him, and now maybe he'll even give medical attention, so we'll see. Cool stuff. So Rachel says, how far are all of our main places, our communities, Alexandria, the Hilltop, the Kingdom, the Sanctuary, from each other? And this is a really tough one for me to answer off the top of my head. In the comics, it seemed like to me they were further away. In the TV series, it kind of seems like they're closer together than they were in the comics. The comics, it kind of seems like it's quite a trek. Like if you're going from the Hilltop to Alexandria or to the Kingdom, it kind of seems like they're pretty far away. In the TV series, like maybe half a day to a day's journey. Sometimes it might take a day to get there and back, and you might have to camp at night or something. In the comics, we do get to see that quite a bit. So it does seem like they're at least, I want to say, you know, I don't want to put like a miles on it. Like maybe if it's like, you know, because if it takes you hours and hours, the zombie apocalypse, so travel is slower. And, you know, it's really tough to say how many miles away, you know, in the comics, the Hilltop is from Alexandria, Sanctuary, Kingdom, like how far apart they are. In the TV series version, it actually doesn't seem like they're that far. You know, you have Ezekiel and the others return after going after the outpost, and they're on foot. They're basically walking. So it can't be that far. Like, it can't be, but granted, that was just for the outpost, right? So, man, that's really tricky. So you got the outposts in there too. I tend to think of the way I think of it is like, okay, so you got the kingdom. To me, seems like it's the furthest away from the sanctuary. Seems like the sanctuary, if you got the sanctuary like right here, the kingdom would probably be like down and around over here somewhere. You know, Gavin's outpost somewhere around there. You'd have to have the Hilltop somewhere in maybe the middle or something, I would think, and then Alexandria somewhere, you know, over here, which is, I'm thinking that the Hilltop would probably be the closest out of all of them to the sanctuary. The Hilltop kind of being more centered and close to the middle, I want to say, with the sanctuary being like near the top, let's say. Alexandria being, you know, to me, be bottom left. To you guys, bottom right, and then the kingdom being kind of the furthest away. But in terms of distance, it doesn't seem like it's a day's drive. It doesn't seem like it's a day's trek. So I would say maybe like, you know, I don't know, a couple hours, few hours if you're driving there and the roads are clear. So how far if you're going, you know, I don't know, 70, you know, 60, well, 60 miles an hour, like 40, 50 miles per hour, maybe 30 at some parts, you know, a few hours away, something like that. So, you know, I do the math here, but less than miles, like 50 miles or something. And does that make sense? No, maybe a little bit further, 80, 100 miles, something like that. You know, that's tricky, man. If they ever release like a map of the TV series version, you can see where they are. I'd definitely be interested to pick that up so we could see. But you guys can leave a comment below. How do you guys envision it based on what we've seen? I tend to think the Hilltop is central because Rick and the others go to the Hilltop and then they go to the kingdom to meet Ezekiel. So that's kind of why I think of it that way. And that's just kind of the way I sort of see it. But yeah, I could be wrong. You know, it's kind of tricky to say. But let me know how far away you guys think they are from each other and which 2 points are the furthest away. I'd probably go with Kingdom and Sanctuary as being the furthest away, and then, you know, Alexandria being a little bit and Hilltop being closer to Kingdom. That's the way I would see it anyway. RylanRendar says, Trev, been a big fan of the channel since the beginning of Season 4 of the show, and I've never really sent in any Q&A questions, but I wanted to ask you something that has been on my mind in the past few years. Does it bother you how different the series is than when it started? The feel that since Season 1, the show's style and tone has changed 6 or 7 times, and at times makes it feel inconsistent. Do you think the series has strayed too much from its original vision? So that's a really great question. You know, it's definitely true that each season has its own type of feel. You have Season 1 where it has kind of that Frank, I guess I would describe it as Frank Darabont type of style. You have kind of slower episode at the beginning where you're taking everything in, you're getting to see the world, you're absorbing all this, and you get to see a lot of different locations. Season 2, you got the farm. Season 2, second half, the speed picks up with Glenn Mazzara going super fast. Going into Season 3 is like guns a-blazing all the way through the whole season. Kind of maybe most similar to this season. Like if you look at All Out War, which season is closest to All Out War? Probably Season 3, you know. Very fast-paced style. You know, you get to see different locations with the prison and Woodbury, which is wicked cool. Season 4, again, total shift. Totally different shift in the feel and the tone. You get in the first half a very dark tone for the show. That one really feels like a zombie apocalypse. Feels a lot like a drama and doesn't feel like an action movie like Season 3 does. Then you go second half and, you know, somewhat similar. Second half of 4. 5's first half has its own unique feel as well, too. Exciting for parts of it, for sure. The stuff in Atlanta's cool. Second half of Season 5, again, a new feel with Alexandria in different spots. And even the style of the show changes, too. Season 6's second half, you get kind of the lighter stuff with Jesus, which has a little bit of, like, comedy in it. The first half where you have Negan, you know, easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? And you've got, you know, he's like, you know, you got, like, the Zoom cam and stuff. You know, again, very different from what you would expect to see earlier on in the show. And then Season 8, again, super different with just action like crazy. The first 4 episodes everywhere. Nuts stuff happening all over the place. So you have different directors. You have people like Ernest Dickerson that used to be involved with the show, no longer direct for it anymore, which I would say is kind of a loss because he's so great, you know, to see his episodes. We got Greg Nicotero still, which is awesome, and a lot of the others, you know, Satcher Zemeckis, some of the others. But, you know, so you definitely still have, you know, but you just have a lot of years here. So you have different people working on it. You have different writers at different times, different showrunners at different times. So, you know, different locations, different villains. So yeah, man, it's going to feel different. The tone, the style, even the audio, like the way the zombies sound earlier on the show, sound more like kind of a classic zombie movie at certain times. The season 2 theme song is very like, classic zombie movie. And it reinvents itself a lot. And so do you view that as a weakness or do you view that as a strength? If you had the season 1 type of feel all the way through the series, personally, I do think that the show would probably never become as big as it has, really. I think that reinventing The Walking Dead is actually one of its greatest qualities, really, because you don't want to get bored or feel like it's repetitive of the same thing. And to change up the feel, as long as you don't stray too far away, I think is good. So at times, they have probably gone a little bit too far for Walking Dead. The Zoom cam stuff probably shouldn't happen in Walking Dead. Even when you've got Daryl on the bike and it kind of zooms in on him and stuff like that, or you got, Negan makes a joke, a quip, and it zooms out or something. I like it, but it's like, should it fit with Walking Dead? Does it fit with Walking Dead? What is Walking Dead? How do you define Walking Dead? These are some good questions, man. But at least, if nothing else, you're not bored. You're not sitting there watching and thinking like, oh man, I wish this was like season 2 where we heard all these zombie groans in the score and stuff like this. And it had like this really dark, like horror movie type of score and stuff. So, it's tricky. But write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. In terms of feel, tone, style of the series, which is your favorite season and which one represents The Walking Dead most closely for you? I might have to say the one that represents Walking Dead most closely for me might be the first half of season 4, where it's like this dark, grungy kind of drama, a little bit slower pace than what we're seeing right now for sure, which I'm not complaining about, I'm just saying. But, that kind of feel, to me, best represents, I think I want to say, what The Walking Dead probably should be. Season 3 being too, action-oriented to the comics, being a little bit too more action-oriented than a zombie apocalypse probably should be. So, but definitely let me know what you guys think and which season you think represents the style of The Walking Dead best. Next one's from Sheldor of Big Bang Theory, says, Trev, why does everyone not get excited anymore about the prospect of many more seasons? I certainly do. How about you? I get excited for the prospect of more seasons of The Walking Dead. Again, I want to see a lot of these comic book moments be adapted onto screen for sure. And it is still my favorite series of all time. Yes, I've changed up the posters a little bit. I added Stranger Things here. But again, it's just to kind of reinvent, and I don't want this channel either. The channel has kind of the same kind of theme as it always sort of has, even back when I was filming in my parents' house, like 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, we do have to kind of reinvent ourselves, and we do have to kind of do that because otherwise we become complacent, we get bored, viewers get bored. So it's, you really do have to do that, I think. I think it is important to do it. But I am very excited about the prospect of more seasons of The Walking Dead, more seasons of Fear. They can wrap it up like Game of Thrones is doing right now and have one last season, have a big hurrah, and then it's over like Breaking Bad did. But then a couple years later, it's like, damn, man, I wish they would have done some more seasons because I really would have liked to see them do this or them do that. With the comic book series of The Walking Dead, you have so much ground that you can still cover. Whispers are going to be sick to see. There's lots of things I'm excited about for sure for The Walking Dead's future. I want to see the final battle between Rick and Negan, so there's lots of stuff coming up. Time skip and different things like this are going to be really cool to see adapted for sure. And I'm happy that AMC understands that and that they're going for it. Do as many seasons as you can, and I'll be here. Maybe regular viewers might decide, oh, I'm out, whatever. But I'm a hardcore fan of the series, and I will be until the end. Pretty much whatever they do, I'll be watching just to see it. Because, given this many years of our lives to the show, watch the show. Let's stay in it, man. Let's keep going. We'll do one more. Negan, the awesome psychopath, who says, hey, Trev, Q&A. Do you think that when The Walking Dead comes to an end, they can continue the Walking Dead brand, so to speak, with more spin-off series in the Walking Dead universe? So, yeah, I think they can do that. They've done it with Fear, and I don't know if I want to say Fear is a success, but at the beginning, it certainly looked really good in terms of ratings and that. And I know, people say ratings don't matter. Well, I think they do. I think it, shows you how much attention there is for a series, how much people care, because if they're not watching, they certainly don't care. I think that they can pretty much do that going forward, and it'll be okay. If you look at the other, interests for other series on AMC, even Fear has done pretty well, better than a lot of the series that start off on AMC. So I think they can do more in the future too, even after The Walking Dead original ends. It may never be as popular as it was from season 5 to the beginning of season 7. Seasons 5, 6, first episode 7 might be the most popular The Walking Dead will ever be. But still, nevertheless, they can still do their best. They can still produce great content for us, and we can still enjoy the hell out of it, even if maybe it doesn't peak higher than that. I mean, I hope it does. I hope eventually they can top those seasons. If they can't, that's fine, but I'm still happy that they're going to continue to produce. And yeah, I'd be down to at least try them. At least try some other series. I love Fear this year. Fear Season 3 is one of my favorite shows that was on this year, for sure. Incredible. So, yeah, man, that'll be it for today's Q&A, though, guys. I'll see you back again tonight, of course. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me know what you think. Answer some of these questions. In your opinion, how far are the communities from each other? How do you feel about the tone of the series? What tone best represents Walking Dead to you? And are you excited for more seasons of The Walking Dead? Or would you prefer if they just ended it and wrapped it up? It's up to you. Write your comments below. If you like this video, please thumb it up below. Be sure to check back tonight for the review of episode 6, predictions, discussion on who's going to be the crossover character once we find out, and all that good stuff. That's it for this one, guys. I'll see you again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.